This episode of the Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Holy Hydrogen. Okay, guys, let's be real. We all try our best to stay hydrated, right? But not all water is created equal. That's where Holy Hydrogen comes in. They've got this awesome device called the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition, and it takes clean water to the next level by infusing it with molecular energy. That means you're not just drinking water. You're giving your body extra support with every sip. Better energy, less inflammation, and a real boost to your immune system. So try the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition today by going to shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran for $100 off your purchase. Again, that's shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran at checkout. Stay hydrated and stay healthy. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I am your host, Franky Corcoran. Happy, what are we? Are we in, this is the last week of August. Crazy, man. Crazy. Years just going right by. Hope everybody had a great summer. Anybody who's going back to school, people in university, high school, elementary school, whatever the case may be. If you're a teacher and you're going back to teach, hope you have a great year. And parents, of course, hope you guys have a great year. Just take it all in. It's going by really, really quickly. Life's going by quickly, and as is the year. So yeah, not really much to ramble about in the first little bit here. Just thank you guys just again for continuing to listen to the podcast. There's in a world with like millions of podcasts, you chose to listen to this one, so I very much appreciate that. Leave us a nice rating, review, all that stuff wherever you listen to your podcasts. So let's just quit beating around the bush. Very excited about our guest today, Candyce Denise. She's a classically trained musician who plays pretty well just about like every instrument in the genres of classical, rap, she also just self-produced a single titled Villain, which is coming soon. No release date scheduled yet, but great conversation. She was just a doll. Had a blast talking with her. Talk about a lot of different things, industry as a whole, all that good stuff. So definitely be sure to check out all of her amazing stuff. And thank you again to Candyce for coming on. I really appreciate it. Later in the show, I want to give my thoughts on a Better Call Saul revival, says Bob Odenkirk. And the chances now, we're hearing more stuff about Johnny Depp potentially maybe coming back for Pirates. I'm just going to give my honest thoughts, the chances of it ever happening. So we'll talk about that later on the show. But without further ado, guys, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast today. All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I am your host, Franky Corcoran, and today I am joined by a multi-talented musician, cellist, classical musician, jazz musician, like literally any instrument there is, she does it, and it's, I'm always blown away by musicians, period, just because it's something that I don't really have. Played a little bit of saxophone or whatever back in high school, but that was it. But seeing all that she's done, the cello, the violin, the piano, you name it, she does it. Very excited to have her on here today. Candyce Denise. Candyce, how are you today?
Hi, and thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here. I'm very well. Thank you.
Well, it's such an honor to have you on here because, as I said off the top, I'm always just blown away by just the sheer amount of talent of people who, I work with classical musicians on a multitude of projects, and anybody listening who's local knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I always say to them, how do you guys do it? and make it seem so flawlessly, or like they make it seem so easy, but you're looking at it and you're literally like having a panic attack trying to see how they do it all with the quick movements and stuff like that, and they're just like, it's lots of practice, lots of practice. What do you say to people when a people approach you with that and say, how do you know this, you know?
Well, for me, music has always been somewhat natural. It's as if I'm breathing, so it's always been second nature for me. But definitely, practice is practice will always supersede talent any given day. And I feel like once you can recognize patterns on one instrument, you can sort of translate that to just about any other instrument as long as you're persistent.
Well, that's good. Like it's you got to really like what you do. That's really the main thing. You have to like what you do, otherwise, because people will be able to tell. Like that's something that I always tell people, is that people will know if you're happy to be doing what you're doing. If you're on stage, like Justin Timberlake just recently has been getting a lot of I wouldn't say controversy, but he's been getting a lot of criticism because of his, dropping the microphone and just letting the audience sing for him, and people just saying he clearly doesn't want to be there and this and that. And so you really have to just be passionate about what you're doing, because the audience will see it. How important is it for you to, really, really let the audience know and really make them feel welcome? I guess you could say. How important is that?
Well, for me, it's important. I say that I like to make eye contact. I like to pick out the people that I can tell are paying attention and just sort of like make eye contact with them and just sort of do like maybe like a little motion in their direction or like a wink or a smile. I try to just make eye contact with the entire space and letting them know that like I'm receiving them, and then I reciprocate that by just hitting my notes, making sure that I sound great, that I'm presenting with poise and great stage presence. And once people start to learn my songs, I too will probably hold the mic to the audience and let them sing along, because that for me is inclusion. It's not just about the artist, it's about the energy in the room, the space, the going back and forth, and just really sharing that energy with everybody.
Yeah, it's really important too. And being a musician, it also comes with a lot of, you're in the public eye a lot, which is a huge thing. When you went into it, and when you started your music career, did you go into it with the mindset of, I want to be famous, or I just want to be a musician, period? I don't care if I'm famous. I don't care if I make millions of dollars off it. I just want to play music. What was your mindset?
So I've never wanted to be famous. I never cared about awards and everything, because I don't need awards or anything like that to prove my worth. For me, my greatest accomplishments are how can I impact the lives of others with my story and with what I'm doing. And I've always sort of just performed for the sake of performing, just because that's my passion. Like I said, for me, playing music is just like breathing. And it's not about the fame or the accolades, it's about how you can transmute what you've gone through into something beautiful and then share that with others who are willing to receive or open to receive. Or like how can you add your gift to the world to make the world a better place. If the fame and accolades come, then definitely I welcome it and I receive it. However, it's not something that will define my career, because I'm not defined by awards or accolades. And it's not to be arrogant, it's not to discredit or like trash talk or anything like that. It just simply is, I was called to be a musician, so therefore I have to figure out a way to make this music enhance the lives of other people, because it's really not about music. Anyone can pick up an instrument and say I'm a musician, and then they can go on and do their thing with the music. But it's how you use the music and what you're doing with the music that ultimately matters. And I feel like if people are just in it to get an award or to get recognition, that's okay because I'm not other people. That's just not for me.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody will have their own journey, and you just got to go with the flow. Just go with your own journey and don't stress too bad if you're not. Was there ever a point where when you got to, like, was there ever a point that you thought maybe this isn't something that I want to do? Like, did you ever have second thoughts at all? Because, I mean, I think everybody has that when they start something that they love doing, like somebody who wants to be an actor or a producer or whatever the case may be. They're so invested in it, they're so excited to make a career at it, and then as soon as they get in, they almost have like second thoughts of like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? Did at any point throughout your journey did you have those thoughts of like, god, I shouldn't, like, I think I made a mistake? Or was it always just, go for it, this is my dream and this is what I'm going to do?
Literally, it's something that I've just done. Like, like how you just go to the store because you have to go to the store, or you just do your everyday life. You live your everyday life, and for me, that's how music has been. I started playing before I could speak. I never said that I wanted to be a musician. Like when people ask you, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I never had that because it was already instilled. It's just like an all-knowing, like you just know this is this is what you were born to do. And so all throughout my childhood, I made it a point to be in the spaces that could cultivate that opportunity for me. And a lot of times it would just be me in my room with my library books, and I'm just playing music, practicing, and next thing you know, I'm in high school and I'm graduating and I'm going off into the military to become a clarinet player for the military band. And like I have a powerful backstory, and for me, my music saved my life. And because of what I've gone through, I try to use my music and my story to inspire other people that they too have art inside of them and they have light inside of them. And so just tap into that and all your dreams will come true. But I
Great
never
way to
had
look at it. Yeah.
doubts. Yeah, I never had doubts. I never had second thoughts. I may have had doubts and second thoughts about some of the environments that I was in musically. However, at the end of the day, I've never questioned my music.
And that's perfect. And that's good. You had a vision, you had a dream. This is what you want to do. And you're just going to stick with it. Like, it's not one of those things that you're going to, uh, because it's your passion, if you're so quick to just drop it and go, this isn't for me, it's like, okay, but you spent your whole, like all this time, this is what you wanted and everything you do, it's going to be difficult. Like that's just the way things are. I wish there was a simpler way to put it, but it's just that's the reality of the world we live in, is that not everything is going to be, you're doing a job you love. Well, you're gonna have bad days. That's just how it goes. Unfortunately, there's no other way to put it. And I always tell people, if you have a job where there's no bad days, I don't think you're real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like everybody has them at some point. It always happens. And but it's really, it just goes to show how much you love it, and how, if you really like it, just, this is it. It's kind of like with family. We have family. Sometimes, yes, you want to throttle them. Sometimes you want to just, yell at them or whatever. But at the end of the day, they're your family. You love them no matter what. And same deal with friends too. And so that's just, that all comes with it too. And something that really intrigued me about you too is that you've really carved a space in the mainstream music world for the clarinet, which honestly I don't really see much of it, to be honest with you. What made you so determined to really make the clarinet more of a mainstream music instrument?
Well, I've seen the clarinet in classical situations. You know, that's how it's always been: classical and jazz in traditional music. I've sat on this idea for about 17 years, but I just never really knew how to go about making it mainstream because it's never been done before. So I don't have any examples to really look up to. And I just decided, this is something that I need to do. No one's going to do it unless I am the one who's spearheading that journey, I guess, if that makes sense.
Like, it has to be me to do this, you know?
Well, not necessarily that it has to be me. It's more of I don't see anyone else doing it, and I definitely have the capacity. So that's, like, why not? Like, I'm in the experimental phase of, you know, allowing myself to see what happens when I just go for things that haven't been done before, and not
If
really
nobody
care
will do it,
about
I will.
whatever. Yeah, and I don't really care about what other people think because if they're not helping me, give me 1 second.
Dishwasher. For those of you guys who can't hear, that's her dishwasher going off.
So yeah, it's like if if you have a problem with what I'm doing, then just give me some tools. And if you're not working with me to try to help cultivate the vision, then you can't really tell me that I can't do this with my instrument because there are no rules. And I think that's the beauty of being a musician is that, people say, "Oh, these are the rules. Instruments are only made for these genres, these spaces, these places." And I'm just here to say, well, what about this space? And I'm not going anywhere until you can prove me otherwise.
The Corkin Entertainment Show is brought to you by Podmatch, the ultimate platform designed to connect podcast hosts with prospective guests effortlessly. Are you a podcaster looking to elevate your show to new heights? Or perhaps you're a guest hoping to share your story with a broader audience. Whatever your podcasting goals are, we have the perfect solution for you. Podmatch simplifies the entire process of discovering guests for your show or finding podcasts to feature your expertise. Now imagine a platform where you can easily match with like-minded creators tailored specifically to your niche. With Podmatch, you can effortlessly network with influencers and thought leaders, all while staying true to your podcast vision. There are a multitude of ways that Podmatch can help you grow your brand. You can be part of a thriving community of podcasters and potential guests. Engage, collaborate, and grow together. If you're ready to experience these fantastic benefits for yourself, we invite you to join Podmatch today. Head over to www.joinpodmatch.com/Corkin Entertainment and sign up right now for only $6 a month. That's right, you heard me right, $6 a month. Join the Podmatch family today and watch your podcast soar to new altitudes. Thank you for tuning into the Corkin Entertainment Show and happy podcasting. Yep, no, exactly. I can just hear the background noise. It's all good. No, and that's good. It's a great approach to like as you say, like nobody was going to make this happen. So somebody's got to. Why not me? You know what I mean? Like that really goes to show how much you care about it to the point where, we always have people who will say, oh, this, like maybe if you're talking about different companies and stuff like that saying, well, they should be doing this and they should be doing that. It's like, oh, okay, like I completely hear where you're coming from, but we can't do it because of this, and this. And then the person's still insistent on it. And so that's why sometimes you can't help but think, okay, why don't you just do it for us? Give us the money and we will do it. So it's kind of funny whenever you hear people going on like that. How do you kind of take the, obviously in such a creative pursuit that you're on, and every creative endeavor is like this, where you have people who will try to maybe not steer you in all their like people will always try to give their opinion on what they think should happen, but it's sometimes it's not. You have a vision and you're completely open to criticism. You're completely open to ideas and stuff. But how do you kind of manage if somebody says like, this song, maybe you should do this instead, or maybe for your performance, do this instead? How do you kind of manage all those different people?
Well, I take everything with a grain of salt, and I don't really let other people's opinions get to me, because at the end of the day, what matters is what I'm doing. And I always welcome advice and I love it because I know that at the end of the day, it's my choice, it's my decision. So it's ultimately up to me if I'm going to let myself be bothered negatively by what other people have to say. And I'm always open to learning. I'm always open to different approaches, to different ideas. I'll always try. Like if anyone has suggestions and everything, I'm definitely open to trying. And if it works, then hey, it works. And then we get a big thank you. And if it doesn't work, same thing. I get a thank you and I give a thank you, and then we really just keep it moving. And so long as there is respect mixed in, then I'm not phased by if it doesn't fit or if it does fit, because I look at everything as a lesson. I like to see that there is a reason beyond what I'm hearing and the intention of what's being brought to me. So I always choose to approach things with a sense of positivity.
Which is good. We really need positive. Like I know people, it's a some might say it's cliche to say that it's always good to be positive and this and that. It's like, but it really is. It really goes a long way, especially when you're in working relationships with people and you want to keep doing business with people. How do you get people to obviously you can be the best person there is, but at the end of the day, if you're not a nice person, if you're just greedy, if you're just arrogant, that is what will determine if people want to work with you. So really it really comes down to just being a good person, really. At the end of the day, just being someone that people want to work with, somebody that people will refer other people to, like, hey, I can't take this on, but this person's really, really good. It's and word spreads. Word really, really spreads. Do you have any people in your life who maybe influenced you in many different ways, or people who steered you into the direction or path that you're currently on?
I'm influenced by Antonio Vivaldi, Beethoven, Mozart, pretty much all your classical music staples. I like old school R&B, so I listen sometimes to the Isley Brothers. I like Alicia Keys. I like Anita Baker, Lauryn Hill. Like I just have a really varied mix of genres, and they all just sort of intertwine, I guess.
That's good, yeah, because it's always so hard to credit just one. You know what I mean? Like you have so many people who have influenced you in so many ways. It's really hard to pick just one. You know what I mean? But credit where credit is due. It's always like picking a favorite movie or picking a favorite song or anything like that. I mean, that's always the hardest. Someone asks you that, what's your favorite song? There's times I actually have to sit and think, like, what is my favorite song? Do you ever struggle with that? If people ask you questions like that, like, what is your favorite song? Who's your favorite artist?
No, because I have many favorites and I have many favorite artists. So it all depends on what genre are we talking, what's the mood, what's the vibe, what's the intention, what's your mindset. Yeah, there's so many factors that go into answering, who's your who's your favorite or what's your favorite. Honestly, I'm a team player. I just like music for the sake of music, because I don't see one genre as defining the whole integrity of music. I just see all of the music intertwined, and everyone is just sharing their art. and contributing, to make the world a better place, and allowing their sounds to be of service for the betterment of humanity, I guess, if it makes sense.
No, definitely. Music is music kind of thing, like music is music, and it brings people together. It's also funny whenever someone said one time, imagine a world without music. Like, is that a world that anybody wants to live in? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, technically, we can't live in a world without music because just our very existence is an ensemble in itself. We have a heartbeat. Our heartbeat has a sound, it has a frequency. Everything that we do vibrates. Everything that vibrates has a frequency. Every frequency has a wavelength, and every wavelength and all that good stuff, it's associated to a pitch. And, so you realistically cannot exist in a world without music, because to exist in a world without music means that there's literally nothing.
Which is, yeah, like that's a great way to put it. And it's something that I actually had to think. I'm like, is that possible? A world without music, is that a thing? I'm like, it would be a bleak world, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to
And
look at it like this. Even if you don't hear a physical sound like a note or a song, you still have what's going on internally. So you can still hum or sing a song without actually vocalizing or emitting a sound. Your
right.
thoughts are going to create, sound in the thought realm. Yeah, I don't know how it works, but I know I have an idea, I guess. I'm no subject matter expert, but that's just my little two pennies.
This feels like a science lesson or something like that, or like we're in class doing a workshop. And so you also have a single coming up soon too, correct? And this single was self-produced as well too. What's it like self-producing?
Honestly, it's just like creating. It's like sitting down and editing a video, or it's like sitting down and pushing record, or sitting down and drawing a picture. Because like I said earlier, when you can start to recognize patterns, everything just feels like art. Everything feels connected. And when you can understand the basics of one aspect of music, it's like a lot of other things in general just sort of flow. Um, I would say that the biggest challenge producing wise is really just being comfortable with hearing my own voice. Because with this song, I'm actually singing. And I've never really been one to call myself a singer. So to actually hear my voice and record myself and, like play it back, that's work for me.
Yeah, that's yeah, I always love hearing people's takes, like artists and stuff like that, their takes on hearing themselves sing or actors seeing themselves act, because I'm the type of guy where it used to be very difficult to edit these podcasts because I didn't like how I sounded, and I didn't like it even more how I looked, and how I wouldn't even like looking or hearing myself, which is crazy that it was that bad. Eventually I kind of got over it, but was there any point at all where you would listen to yourself and just go, no, 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 I made the wrong choice? Because I went through that, and there's even people I know who have gone through that. Of I heard myself sing, or I saw myself act, and I didn't want to do it again because I'm like, I can't believe that's how I sound. But that's what we're like as people. We're always hard on ourselves. Were you ever like that at all too at first, or?
All the time. All
Yeah.
the time, even performing live, even when people say that I've done a good job, on the inside, I always feel like other people can see or hear my mistakes. And so sometimes it's like I'll resonate with one thing that I did that I feel like everyone else noticed. But then even when they're like, no, like we didn't notice anything. What are you talking about? I'm like, oh my God, they're just saying that to be nice or whatever. But even when I practice, I'm like, wow, I shouldn't have done that, or like it's like I'm just always analyzing as I'm playing or performing.
That's funny too. Like you will say, "I'm so sorry, I messed up," and then they're like, "What do you mean? I didn't know." Like that's the funny part. It's like just don't say anything.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like I will never say it like in the moment. However, like afterwards, that's when I'll do like the reflecting and everything. And if someone brings it up to me, then they bring it up to me. And if they don't, then I'll just make like a mental note and adjust from there. But never, 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 unless I'm having like visible problems with like my mic, or if something is like literally happening that is causing me to be distracted and having to like adjust on spot. But that's a whole different avenue. But if I mess up and it's just like a little squawk or a squeak or like a wrong note, I just keep going. Show must
That's all
go
I can do.
on.
Show must go on. Exactly. Nobody will know you messed up unless you say, blah, 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 blah. Ah, shoot, guys messed up. Like that's just, they're not going to know. Um, it's great. It's so great to hear, just how good of a name you've made for yourself. It's really, really inspiring. It's one of those things where you love hearing, the different journeys people take and their different takes on fame and not caring if they're famous, but just doing music and doing this because it's just what they do. It's in their DNA. It's like brushing your teeth. It's like, uh, going for a walk, like literally anything, driving a car, you name it. And it all just comes second nature to you. Do you have any final thoughts or maybe a call to action or advice for people who want to pursue a career in music?
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, I am not doing this to be recognized or to be like worshipped or, to acquire awards and everything. I'm doing this because of my story. I'm a survivor of a lot of things. I survived foster care. I aged out. I graduated high school despite all odds. I served honorably in the military, and I still have my clarity. And I believe that no matter what people are going through, we all have art inside of us, whether it's music or drawing or, being a philanthropist or service for others or like anything, everything that we do to make the world a better place. I feel like there is an art form in that. And so I would just say to anyone who's listening that you matter, your story is valid. You're here, you're heard, you're seen, you're worthy. You deserve to live a good life and tap into that light that you have to the very best of your ability with what you have, and just keep your eye to the sky and everything will be okay.
Great way to look at it. Great way to look at it. Candice, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. Where could people find you on social media and all that stuff?
You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook and on TikTok under the name Candyce Denise. That's CandyceDenise_. And the name is similar across all social media. If people want to listen to me on Spotify, my name is Music Cal, MUZIKCAL.
Perfect. Perfect. Guys, be sure to go follow her. Check out her music on Spotify and all that stuff. Candice, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. Best of luck in all of your future endeavors, and just great conversation. Great chatting with you, and hope all goes well for you.
Awesome. And thank you again for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Oh, and mine as well. Mine as well. So, guys, we're going to take a short break. We will be right back. But until then, this is Franky and Candice signing off. Cheers, Candice.
Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cork and Entertainment Show. That was me and Candyce Denise. Thank you, Candyce, for coming on, and guys, be sure to check out Candyce and all of her amazing projects. Thank you again, Candyce, for taking the time to come on. I really appreciate it. So moving on to our solo segments today, the first one I want to talk about is probably my second favorite TV show. It's pretty safe to say. I mean, number one, I actually kind of had to I actually debated this a while ago, which is my number one favorite show, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. I gave the slight advantage to Breaking Bad, but Better Call Saul is definitely number two. Just two of the best shows, period. Like, really, these are two of the best shows that I think will ever, maybe not will ever air, but I mean, that I've ever seen, in all the television I've seen, those two are the best. So, I still remember when the Breaking Bad finale aired. I still remember when Better Call Saul first premiered. I still remember when it was announced that they were doing El Camino. Like, I just love the Breaking Bad universe, period. Vince Gilligan's probably my favorite TV writer. I'm very excited to see Pluribus, I think it's how you pronounce it. It's the new Apple TV Plus series that he's working on, also starring Ray Seahorn. Super excited for that. And I just can't wait to see how that turns out. So talking about Better Call Saul, it ended 3 years ago, which is insane to think about. See, my dog's even crying in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that. He's crying. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul ended 3 years ago. And so perfect series finale. It was an absolutely perfect finale. You really couldn't get any better for a finale. Like, even in some of like the biggest and all the predictions and stuff that people were making for the series finale, how could it turn out, this and that. I think it exceeded all expectations. It was just it was the perfect ending to Better Call Saul. And of course, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it. It ended with Gene, or Saul Goodman, being arrested, finally atoning for what he did, and paying the price, and finally comes clean. And it was it was the perfect way. I really don't think killing him would have worked. I mean, it could have, but I mean, I just think it's better if he atones for what he did, comes clean, confesses it, and just spends the rest of his life in prison. And as we can see in the show, he is loved in prison, for Saul Goodman. They're all chanting on the bus, "Better call Saul." So we just got this interview from Bob Odenkirk, who is promoting Nobody 2, which I'm actually really excited to see. I haven't gotten around to seeing it yet. I really, really like the first Nobody. So he's doing some press for Nobody 2, and he was asked about a potential Better Call Saul revival. So this comes from Deadline. Bob Odenkirk's I can't even talk. Bob Odenkirk talks potential Better Call Saul revival. He's not getting out. 3 years after its 6-year run ended, Bob Odenkirk doesn't expect Better Call Saul to escape from bars anytime soon. Although he didn't sound optimistic about a revival of the Breaking Bad spinoff, which ran for 6 seasons on AMC from 2015 to 2022, Odenkirk said, "Of course I would reprise the role as the titular scam artist lawyer, Saul Goodman. That part turned my life around, and I've given more to that part than anything I've ever done," he said on Today. Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould created that show. They're some of the best writers who ever worked in TV, so if they were to think of something in that world, of course I would do it. Odenkirk added the possibility, but I don't think so. I think they've all moved on to some amazing projects that you'll see soon. And then later on he says, he's not getting out of prison. If there's another Saul show, it takes place inside prison, added Odenkirk. So that is, of course, Saul Goodman himself saying about a potential revival. Now, here's the thing. I want to make sure, because I know a lot of people, and journalists do what they got to do. That's their job. They're getting headlines, they're getting clicks, and this and that. Really what he said was, I don't think we're ever going to get more Better Call Saul. He said, I would absolutely reprise the role if Vince and Peter had an idea. Kind of the same deal with El Camino, where, the only reason people wanted to do it is because Vince Gilligan had an idea for it. And it was like Aaron Paul was just, yep, anything you need, So really, it's the ball's in Vince Gilligan's court. If he wants to do something, then absolutely. But I think he's pretty set on. Again, I don't know the guy. I don't know Vince personally, but everything I've heard, everything I've seen, he just doesn't seem like the type of person who is interested in touching this universe again. I mean, El Camino was the exception, but that's because there was still kind of a story to tell. But in this case, there's not really a story to tell. Would it be fun to maybe check in like maybe like 10 years and we get to see Saul in 10 years in prison or whatever? Yeah, that could be fun if, now here's the thing, only if Vince Gilligan's doing it. Only if Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould are involved with it, then I'd be like, okay, is it a good idea for them to even consider it? Maybe not. But like, here's the thing. People said that about El Camino. I know there were lots of people saying El Camino, they shouldn't be doing a Breaking Bad movie. What are they doing? Breaking Bad ended perfectly. And then Vince Gilligan wrote and directed it, and it was perfect. It was really like the perfect epilogue to Breaking Bad. So if they were to come up with an idea, I have no doubt in the world that it would be a great idea. Like, they would absolutely come up with something killer. But should they force themselves to create something if it doesn't, jive with, because they never intended to make one? We don't want to get in another Joker 2 situation where they made Joker 1 as a standalone movie. That's it. There's no follow-up. There's no nothing like that. And then, of course, it made $1 billion and won an Oscar and this and that. So they're like, we got to do another one. And, well, you guys saw how number 2 turned out. It was, well, you saw it. So I don't see Vince Gilligan being like that. I really don't. Or Peter Gould, for that matter. It's more so Peter Gould's show, really. I mean, like, when you really think about it, yes, Vince, did create the show with him, but Peter Gould created the character of Saul Goodman, and he was basically running that show for a number of years by himself while Vince Gilligan went off to do other projects. And so I think it's one of those things where, people say, oh my God, this said, Bob Odenkirk says there's going to be a Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, a new season or whatever. Like, no. Just, that's not what he said. He's just saying, if they called me and said, would you do it? I absolutely would, but I don't think they're going to. That's basically all he said. That all he said was just, like the phone's ready. Like, I'm ready. I'll answer the call. Anything they need, I'm there. He wasn't saying they're going to actually do it. So that's just something, I think a lot of people understand that, but it's, as I mentioned, it's the journalists getting the clicks and the Reddit threads getting the clicks and all that stuff. So, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, I would even love to see something to the effect of, how with the like the popcorners where they had Bryan Cranston come back and Aaron Paul come back for those commercials. I'd love to see something like that with Saul. You know what I mean? Like, just have Bob Odenkirk put the suit on again and do like a commercial or something like that. For Super Bowl. I think that would be fun. I would dig that. It's actually been 10 years since Better Call Saul premiered. So I'm thinking, like, how fun would that be to do some sort of 10-year celebrating 10 years and he gets back in the suit. I don't know. That right there I'd be okay with. Doing a completely new show with, set in prison, taking place out. Like, no, to me it's like, kind of just leave the story where it is. But I'm in the same boat as Bob Odenkirk. If they are to do more of it, absolutely I would I'd be down for it. But the ball's in Vincent Peters' court at this point. So anyways, be sure to let me know what you think. Should there be more Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, or hell, El Camino, for that matter? Should there be more of that? Definitely be sure to let me know what you think on that. And so moving on to our last discussion topic today is going to be giving my thoughts on Pirates of the Caribbean. So I covered this fairly recently, talking about Orlando Bloom, who of course played Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean. He played him in the first 3 movies, didn't come back for the 4th, but then he came back for a minor, somewhat significant role in the 5th one. And now he's talking about saying he would love to do Pirates 6. He would love to come back, but only if he could get the original cast back together. To which I think is, at the time, it's kind of iffy, like, can they get the entire cast back? It might be difficult, but now as I'm reading, some articles recently, Orlando Bloom has been talking about maybe like someone asked him about maybe replacing Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow with a female, and he was kind of like, I don't know. And the statement he said was, everything is in the writing, right? Everything is on the page, and I think there's definitely, I'm sure there's a way to create something. I would personally love to see everybody back. I think the way to win on that one is to get everybody back if they can, and if everybody wanted to go back. So, and then he talks about later, my thing is, if the script was great, ideally it was everybody, it'd be kind of like in for a penny, in for a pound, What they're thinking is how to do it. Do you bring in a female leading character that replicates Jack in some way? I don't know. The jury is out on how to do it again, but if the script was great, I'd be in. So, Pirates 6, as I mentioned many times, is a huge mystery. What's going on with it? Is it even happening? One second we're getting a reboot. Next second we're getting, a Margot Robbie led remake. Like it's who knows what's going on with it now. And I know that they're still talking about Pirates 6 and that they still want to do it. It's just a matter of when, how, when will it happen? And then of course Johnny Depp had the whole controversy, and so then the question becomes of do you even bother if you can't get Johnny Depp back? So, and then of course Jerry Bruckheimer said this month, he said if he likes the way the part's written, I think he would do it. It's all about what's on the page, as we all know. So that's what Jerry Bruckheimer says. That's what Orlando Bloom says. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of weigh both options here, and then I'm going to give a percentage. Realistically speaking, I mean, in my mind, would I want to see Johnny Depp back? 100% I would want to see him back. But I got to be realistic here. I'm going to look at, weighing out, the pros, the cons, and coming to some sort of possibility, you know what I mean? Like, or like, what are the chances that we actually do see him back? Not what we want to see, but will we actually see him back realistically based on all the information that we have? So first things first, the fans want it. That's a pro Johnny Depp coming back. The fans want it. Johnny Depp loves the fans. Like, it's clear. Even in the trial, you could see just how excited he was to be, waving at the fans and stuff like that. On red carpets, he's always very excited and stuff like that. So, he cares about the fans. It's very, very clear to me that he does. And the fans want him to come back. Like, clearly, they want him to come back. If they're even going to do a Pirates 6, how they're saying, maybe they'll get him back, maybe not. And to me, or to a lot of people, there's no maybes. Either you get him back or you just don't do it, So the fans want it. That's a big pro right there. I think that's a big pro. It really is. The con here, he's still hurt and betrayed by Disney. They dropped him soon as the allegations came out with Amber Heard and all that. They fired him, not even a chance to explain himself, none of that stuff. He later said in the trial when they asked him, even if they offered you, like, I can't remember the exact number, like $300 million, would you still come back? He basically just said no. No amount of money is going to make him want to come back to play Jack Sparrow again. Which is understandable. It's not about the money. I mean, he's got enough money now to work to, he doesn't have to work ever again if he wants, if he doesn't want to, So, that's a very valid reason why he wouldn't want to come back to work with them after they dropped him, didn't even give him a chance to explain himself. Just, these allegations came out, you're done. So I can understand his perspective on that. Another pro, though, is that he has appeared at children's hospitals in costume. I covered this last year, and I thought maybe this is a sign that maybe he's open to coming back. So this is, I'm not saying this is like 100% guaranteed, or maybe this just isn't a valid reason. Like, he's just being nice and he's dressing up and he's showing up for the kids and stuff. Maybe that's a good reason. Maybe some people would see that and go, no, it's not. He's just being a good guy. The fact that he's willing to put the costume on again shows that maybe he is interested. Like, or like maybe he has warmed up to coming back. Like that one just always kind of stuck with me. I mean, I said right there, I made it clear, I don't think that means he's coming back, but it helps his case. If that makes any sense, it helps his case. To him coming back if he's willing to still go out into public in costume and show up for sick children and stuff like that. So that's a good pro right there. But now a con, Pirates 5. If you guys go back and watch Pirates 5, it's pretty clear he did not want to be there. It was clear to me he was just, it didn't even seem like he was acting drunk. It just seemed like he was just drunk. And of course, Johnny Depp, of course, he had the Amber Heard situation and stuff like that. But he was having a lot of, drug issues, drinking problems, and stuff like that leading up to Pirates 5. So it was pretty clear then he just didn't have any interest in doing Pirates 5. When you really compare all 5 movies, it's probably his weakest performance. I mean, of course, he has his moments in the movie where he's good, but then there's a good chunk of the movie where you're just like, dude, do you not want to be here? Like, you're just not even trying anymore, man. So yeah, that's my take on that. I think just Pirates 5 show that maybe he's not interested at all. Even if this stuff didn't happen with Amber Heard, I still think maybe he was just already done, So that's a con. But a pro here is that Jerry Bruckheimer is optimistic. As I mentioned in that statement that he said, if he likes the way the part's written, I think he would do it. It's all about what's on the page, as we all know. And that's coming from Jerry Bruckheimer. That's somebody who knows Johnny Depp personally, who says, I think if we put together a good script and a good story, I think he would come back. So, I think that is a good thing. Somebody who knows him personally saying that. So yeah, I think those, I was trying to think of a lot of other pros and cons stuff. So just to kind of recap real quick, and then I'll give a percentage of what I think the chance is. So the things working in the favor of him coming back is the fans want it. He's appeared at children's hospitals in costume, suggesting that he's perhaps warmed up to it. And Jerry Bruckheimer is optimistic, somebody who knows him personally. Where it works against him coming back is that he's still hurt and betrayed by Disney, straight up saying that he wouldn't come back even if they offered him $100 million, $300 million, whatever it was. And Pirates 5 showed that he was just he seemed like he wanted to be done with the franchise. So if I have to say, just based on those arguments and based on what we have, because really the only person who knows for sure what's going to happen is Johnny Depp himself. If he wants to do it, and we don't know what the story is on it. We don't have Johnny Depp here in the studio today to tell us what's going on. So we kind of just have to guess with the evidence that we have. I'm going to give it 60-40. 60% he's not coming back, even though I know that might kind of negate, I have more cons than pros, but some of these cons outweigh the pros. 60% no, he's not coming back, but there's still a 40% chance that he could come back. So I'm going to go 60-40, 60-40 on 60%. He's probably not going to, even though like really the main thing is he's still hurt and betrayed. He went on record and said he's not coming back. Yes, he could change his mind. Of course, obviously he can change his mind, but given the circumstances and just the insane situation that this was, I don't see it. So, and then the other 40% of, I think there is still a chance he could come back, because like Jerry Bruckheimer says, I mean, if he likes the script, I think he would do it. So, but that's Jerry Bruckheimer saying that. Yes, he knows Johnny Depp personally, but we don't know if Johnny Depp would say, hey, the script's awesome, it's fantastic, the script is great, but I told you before that I'm done. You know what I mean? So anyways, be sure to let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you think it's possible that Johnny Depp comes back? What are the chances? Do you agree with my take on it? Definitely be sure to let me know what you think about all that. And we're going to call it for the show today, guys. I think that was a good one today. I think that's a good one to leave off on. I'll maybe put that in the poll. Will Johnny Depp come back, or what are the chances of him coming back? Feel free to put in the poll what you think. And yeah, thank you guys for listening to the show again. Thank you to Candyce Denise for coming on the show today. Thank you guys for listening. Leave us a nice review, all that good stuff. If you like the episode, if you like what we got, stay up to date. Any local listeners, our upcoming fall production, Fractured Festivities, very excited for it. It's coming together great. Be sure to stay tuned for that. And anybody who's not local, you can come on down, clear your schedules and come see a show that we're pretty proud of. We just started, so I'm very proud of how far it's coming in this, this early on in. So thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, this is Franky signing off. Have a great week, everybody.